Hello. How are you all doing tonight? I hope you are having an awesome week so far. We've made it halfway through. It's been a busy week for me. A lot of things going on, and I am really looking forward to the weekend. How about you? Have you been having a busy week as well? We have had some fabulous weather, although we love it and the flowers love it and they're already blooming. And I'm afraid that here in Ohio, we usually get some snow in March, April, and sometimes, no, March and April. So I'm afraid we're going to get some snow and those flowers that have bloomed are going to freeze. But I guess we'll just enjoy it while they're here. Daffodils are coming up all around. So a little early for those. So tonight I wanted to let you know what I have coming up. A lot of great opportunities to work on your projects, to work on your scrapbooking, lots of time that you can set aside for you and get those projects done and have fun while you're doing it. So our next Scrappy Thursday is March the 9th. So that's just next week. Gosh, today's March 1st. Happy March 1st. I forgot about that. It's already March. We're into the third month of the year already. I cannot believe it. So we have a fun Scrappy Thursday planned for you on the 9th, which is next week. And remember, we will announce what the challenge is for the month of March at that Scrappy Thursday. We do a challenge every month. The first month was circles. You needed to make a layout and that had circles in it. In February, the challenge was hearts. So you needed to make a layout with hearts in it. And March is coming up, so maybe you guys could give me a guess at what you think the challenge is going to be for March. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Lisa and I have such a great time going live on our Let's Get Scrappy With It site. And if you make all of the layouts that we do, you will have 2 layouts a month. So you'll have 24 layouts by the end of the year. So that's a great boost to your album. Lots of layouts for your album. So please join us. And we do record those sessions because we go live, so they are recorded. So you can watch it later if you're not able to join us that night. And that is on March the 9th, 7:00 p.m. Eastern. And then on March the 10th is my next Friday night crop. And that is also the Creative Memories virtual crop weekend. So we will be making 4 sketches that night from Creative Memories virtual crop. We will make those at my Friday night virtual crop. So join us that Friday night. We have so much fun and we learn so much. It's lots of fun and we take our time and we have some challenging layouts. Sketches. We use sketches. So sometimes the sketches are more challenging and sometimes they're simpler, but they're always fun to make and you can always interpret them to match your style. That's the fun thing about sketches, is that you can make them the way that you want to make them. So please join us that Friday night on March the 10th. Mark your calendars because we do have a lot of fun. I go live here every Wednesday night. I try and do it around 7. I'm a little later tonight, so but usually I'm about 7 or 7:30. I go live on Wednesday nights and I show you some tips and tricks and techniques, and we make usually make a layout together or a border, or you just never know what we're going to make on Wednesday night. Sometimes I don't even know what we're going to make. It just all happens spontaneously. So join me here every Wednesday night. It's lots of fun. I have lots of fun. I really look forward to hanging out with you guys for a few minutes every Wednesday night. I am having an in-person retreat, my first retreat of the year. Woohoo! 4-day weekend. We will be getting together the last weekend of March. Gosh, so just 29 days from now. Oh my gosh. March 30th is the weekend, and the theme for that weekend is spring break. So bring your bathing suits and your towels. We're really not going to do much with those because there isn't a swimming pool there, but we'll just pretend. We'll pretend we're on the beach. We're going to have lots of fun. We'll have classes. I have a special guest who will be attending that weekend, and she will be doing a card class. So lots of fun. I can't wait for that weekend. And then I'm not doing a beginner's class in March because I have several other things going on in March and I just don't have the time. But in April, I will be doing my beginner's class 1 and 2. Beginner's class 1 is a simpler layout, and beginner class 2, we do a little more difficult layouts. So join me on April 17th and 18th. Mark your calendars. That's also at 7 p.m. Each of those starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's lots of fun, and we have a nice discussion. We talk about how we scrapbook. We talk about how we organize. We talk about our scrapping spaces. We talk about just the hobby in general. Lots of great discussion, lots of great information from everybody. I learned so much from all of you, and that's so great that we can all learn from each other because that's what we're here for. So there we go. Scrappy Thursday, Friday night crop, a retreat, going live every Wednesday night, and some beginners classes. So March and April are going to be busy months, and I am excited about that because we're going to get a lot done. And that is our goal, right? Is to get a lot done. So I also want to talk about the couple specials that are going on right now. Free shipping. Free shipping. I know everybody loves to jump in on free shipping. You really save a lot of money. This is a great time to order heavy items because once you spend $80, your shipping is free. So if you've been wanting some punches, those are heavy items that normally when you buy them, you're going to pay a little bit more in shipping. This is the time to stock up because you got free shipping. So do that by March the 10th. Head on out to my website and get all of those wish list items, or stock up on things that you never want to run out of, like your adhesive and your refill pages and your pocket pages and peekaboo pockets and project folders and foam squares. I never want to run out of foam squares. And something that I just ran out of the other night was a color of cardstock that I use a lot. So make sure you have all the colors that you need in your cardstock. So all of those great things that you always want to have on hand and that you use up, you're going to use them all up. I know, we get into that mindset of, I have enough paper. I mean, I definitely have enough paper. I mean, look behind me. I have enough paper, so I don't need to stock up on any more paper, although, I'm going to buy the ones that I like. But anyway, so buy the things that you're going to use up, all those things that I just mentioned, things that you're going to use on every page, in every album. If you have some vacations coming up and you don't know what album you're going to use, this is a great time to buy those albums. And another thing to go along with that is joining Creative Memories. I can't say enough how much I love our program, our joining, I don't want to say, our join program. It's so much better than it used to be. when I joined in 2007, you had to, if you joined Creative Memories as a consultant, you were required to sell and you had a quota that you had to meet every 3 months. We don't have that anymore. There are no quotas. You do not have to sell. You can be a hobbyist, some people like to call it, or you can be a personal use advisor, which means you are buying things for you and you're not trying to sell to anybody else. You do not have to sell. You are not pressured to sell. I have people on my team who have been on my team for many years, and I'm so thankful for them. And they haven't ever sold because they just joined because they want to get that commission. So when you join, you get 10% off or a commission on everything you buy. So you're paying 10% less for everything you buy. And you also get a $50 credit from Creative Memories. So you immediately have your $49 that it costs to join, you're immediately given that right back with the $50 credit. So you pay $49 to join, you get a $50 credit from Creative Memories, you get a welcome bundle, a free welcome bundle from Creative Memories, and you also get $30 credit from me as my thank you for joining. So I would love for you to join with me. It's so beneficial. It pays for itself. If you are someone who is going to order more than 2 times in a year, it pays for itself. And then when you get to, and there are levels that you can reach and your commission will go up. You start at 10% commission. Now, if you reach $551, your account balance reaches $551 in your first 60 days after you join, then you get another $100 credit from Creative Memories, and your commission goes up to 25%. So it's such a beneficial way to do it because you are getting the most for your money. Okay, I don't like to talk too much about it. I'm not here to sell. I'm here to teach. So let's get into what we're going to talk about tonight. As you can see on my table are my recipe templates. And if you're wondering, what is a recipe template? Well, basically, recipe template is what Creative Memories calls it. And basically, it is a stencil. I know that's hard to see. I'll just leave that on the white there. It is a stencil. And what you're going to do is you are going to trace your paper with this stencil and then hand cut your paper out. And what you're going to end up with, this is the latest recipe template, and it's called Tropic Time. So very cute. It's got nice wavy lines to make you think about the ocean and the beach. That is the latest template. I have not used that one yet. But this page that I have here, I made with a recipe template, and I wanted to grab that out of my sort and stash binder. This binder is awesome for storing all of my templates. Keeps them nice and neat and protected, and then I can just grab this binder when I'm getting ready for a crop and take it with me, and I have all of my stencils with me. I don't have to worry that I didn't bring the right one. So let me find the one that I made this one with. Here we go. So the stencil that I used to make this page is called Botanical Burst. And a Botanical Burst actually just recently went into last chance. And what that means is that it's almost ready to sell out. And they are not going to, it's not going to be coming back. It's retiring. The product is retiring. So this is called Botanical Burst. And this is the page that I made with this Botanical Burst. Now, what's fun about it is I love all the spacing that you get in between the pieces that you cut out. So you get a nice border around in between all of your pieces. There we go. So now you can see how I laid my pieces out. So you get this nice border from all of these lines here. Now, the fun thing about the stencils is you get to decide which shapes you're going to use, which version of the stencil you're going to use. So no two pages are going to look alike when you are using recipe templates, because everybody is going to interpret it differently. And what I like about Botanical Burst is the circles on it are the same size as the circle from your custom cutting system. So you don't have to hand cut all of these circles out. If that's the pattern you're going to use on here is the circles, you can use the custom cutting system template for these, and it saves you some cutting time. So that is one of the templates. Another one of the templates, and I will have to check and see if this one is still available. This one is the star. There we go. This one is called Starflake. I cannot remember if this one is still available. Give me just a second, please, and I will check. It is. Starflake is still available, still out on my website. These templates are $15, so very reasonably priced, and right now you get free shipping. So great time to buy the templates. Sorry, give me just a sec now. I need to get back over here to Facebook where I can see you guys. So this one's called Starflake, one of my favorites. Now it looks like, I could only get one picture on the page, and that would be fine. If you want to use this page as your first page in your album, that'd be great, or your last page. If you are a two-page layout person, everything is a two-page layout, then this would work great because you can use it for your first or your last page. But you definitely can get more than one picture on here. I mean, this size picture, I could get at least 4 or 5 of these around if I'm using this big a picture. If I use a smaller picture like these, I could definitely get several on here. You have room for pictures. So I know ladies like to get a lot of pictures on their pages. I am the same way. So definitely could get lots of pictures. And this one you can actually see a little better what I was talking about the spacing. Because when you lay your pieces out that you've cut out, then you've got that nice spacing in between your pieces so that you can see your background paper. So let me get the stencil here. Sure, I have it the right way. There we go. Yeah. So there we go. We can see, oh, you know what? This is not the starlight. So I have this wrong. There we go. I had it wrong. So you can see that when you cut out your pieces, you are going to have this great border in between so that you can see your background behind it. That's what I love about it. It gives you that nice even border in between your pieces to give it that really polished look, professional look. I like doing these, and they do take some time. But that's okay because it's nice to do something different every once in a while. We do our pages. I mean, I should say I do my pages pretty much the same. And I like the way that I scrapbook. Don't get me wrong. I like my scrapbooking style. It's morphed over the years, into what it is. And I like it. I have fun doing it. That's what's important. But I like to do different things too every once in a while. So I will grab one of these stencils, and they're lots of fun. I just like to be creative with them. Now, this one I know we do not have anymore. Let's see. This is called the Quilted Knot. And hold on, I think this is the quilted knot. Is this not the quilted knot? Maybe not. Is this, no? It's not the star flag. Nope, it's not the quilted knot. All right, maybe it's the, there's another star in here. Hold on. Oh, it's sunshine. I turned right back to it. There we go. It's called the Sunshine, and I don't know if this one is still available. Let me check on that. Sunshine. I don't see it here on my website. So no, I don't think this one is available anymore, but I do have some of these in my inventory. So if this is one that you're interested in, just reach out to me and I can get that to you. Okay, so give me just a sec. Now I'm open twice in Facebook. There we go. All right. I'm just going to refresh here real quick. All right. Very good. So get a good idea on this one as well. About the borders in between the pieces. You can see that really well on this one. So, and like I said, they're going to turn out differently person to person. Everybody is going to see something different in these shapes. Remember those stenograph? I can't remember if that's what it was called, but when we were younger, we had those things and they were all different shapes, or they were coloring books and you could color in all different shapes. Maybe they still have those now because I know coloring books are popular. But it's the same type of thing. When you look at it, you see one pattern. When I look at it, I see another pattern. And let me just show you the front. I don't have the front of that one. Let me show you the front of the, I'm going to go back to the Starflake. So there's a couple different ideas on here on the front. So you can see how this one turned out much differently than this one turned out. So they used a 2-layer star for this one, and this one they used a 1-layer star that, and then it looks like it has a background because of the colors that they used. So there's so many different patterns and so many different varieties of paper that you can use to give it a different look. So that's the fun with the recipe templates. So let's do a few pieces. Put these all aside here, and I'm going to grab my latest one, the Tropic Time. And I just want to give you a couple little things that I do first before I use a template. So the first thing that I do is I trace the template on the back of the cover sheet. So I take the cover sheet, turn that over, lay the template on there, and then I trace all these lines all over. And you probably saw that when I was showing you, for example, the quilted knot. You can see that I traced all of the lines in the pattern on the back. And for this one, I numbered it. I don't know that I need them to be numbered, but some ladies like to have them numbered, because what you do is then as you're cutting them out, then you're going to be using this to cut out your paper. So you need this while you're creating your recipe template. So if you have the pattern on the back here, then you can use this as you cut out your pieces. You can lay them down here and you know which ones you've cut out, and you can see how it's looking, and you can see if you need to change anything up, if you like the colors, the way it's all coming out. So I really recommend to trace them on the back using a permanent marker, because these are this is a coated cardstock. It's got a shimmer type to it. So you want to use a permanent marker, otherwise it's just going to smear and wipe off. Another thing, just so you know, there is a little Creative Memories logo down in the bottom right corner. So you just want to make sure that, it's hard to see, you just want to make sure, here we go, that is in the bottom right corner while you're working, because that way you know you have it the right side up. And another thing I like to use are the clips. These clips are really great because they are completely flat on the bottom versus just having any kind of rounding to them. Because when they have rounding, then it lifts your paper up and your paper's not flat on the table. So I really love our clips. I think they're $2 for 4. And when you are purchasing the recipe templates, it will give you the opportunity to buy the clips when you're buying the recipe template if you don't have the clips. You can also buy the clips by themselves. So I like to clip my stencil on my cover sheet before I start tracing it because that just holds it in place for me. So I'll do at the top and the bottom, or you could do one on each side, like 4 clips that come in a pack. But I usually just use 2 at a time. And let me just move this down a bit here. There we go. So I'm just going to pause there a minute. I've been talking for a little while now, and I haven't said hi. Hi to all of the ladies who are joining. It's so great to see you. If you want to say hi, I'd love to hear from you. And if you've used any kind of stencils, I would love to see that and how you use them, and if you like them, if you don't like them, and what your thoughts are on them. I'd love to see that. So please leave your comments. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my marker, and I have one of those real thin, narrow markers. There we go. Permanent markers. And you do kind of want to have a very light hand when you're doing this because these will move. If you press too hard, then you're going to move these outlines here, the stencil part, and then your lines aren't going to be straight on your tracing. So just have a very light hand, take your time, and outline the stencil so that you can use this as you're cutting pieces out. And, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just meant to help you know which pieces you've cut out, which pieces you still need, etc. This one has a lot of curvy lines to it, which is going to be really pretty when you're done, but it is going to be a lot of cutting. So just like that, you're just going to do that for all these sections. This one, there are a lot of varieties because you do have all of these different layers. So you could do just the outside layer, frame, I guess I want to call it, the outside frame. And then there's a second frame right here, and a third frame, and a fourth frame, and then a cute star in the middle. So you really have a lot of options. And it just gives you a different way, different method for making your page. Oh, there we go. So that's one section. I'm going to do the same thing with the other 3 sections, get them all traced out on my mat, and then I can start cutting out my pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there for now. I'll get those other sections traced later. I just want to show you how to get started tracing. So I am going to use my trumpet time. I have just a few pieces left over or left. Grab all of the pieces out, because now is when we're going to decide what our patterns are going to look like, how we want our page to look, how we want our project recipe to look. We need to decide which of the papers we're going to use as our background and which we're going to use for which of our frames and which frames do we want to use. So there is some decision making to do before you get started. Here's a nice light piece that might look nice. It's kind of got some, it's not completely white. It's kind of got some hue to it. So that might look nice. And then I've got several varieties here, several patterns that I can use for frames. I really like this leaf, and that just jumped out at me, so I'm going with it. I'm going for it. That's what I'm using. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my paper and I am going to get a pencil. That's one thing I forgot to get is a pencil. Because we are going to be doing some tracing. So I need to grab my pencil. Hopefully I have one close by. Okay, so I'm going to stand up now. So we are going to change my camera here a little bit. There we go. All right, so we are going to trace with a pencil, just a regular pencil, something that you can erase easily, so that you don't see the pencil lines in your layout. And so then what I do is okay, so what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to use this dark leaf for my outside frame. Okay, I'm going to start with that. I'm going to use it all the way around for all of these pieces of the outside frame. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This whole outside frame I'm going to do in this leaf color. Okay, so I'm going to take my stencil, and to optimize how much paper you're using, I take my stencil. Let's move my background for right now. And I line it up on my paper as close to the edge as I can, just to conserve some paper. Okay. So I'm right on the edge. I'm going to take my pencil and trace my shape. I am using a dark colored paper, but I should be able to see this pencil line pretty good. All right, I like to use my precision scissors. And now I'm going to cut this out. It's curvy, so it is going to take me a minute. I appreciate your patience while I cut. I'm just going to kind of cut around it first, and then I'll trim it. And I'm really not having any problem seeing the pencil. It's got a glare to it, so I can see it pretty well. I'm not that great of a cutter, but that's okay. Precision point scissors really help. They're very sharp, and they've got that preciseness to them so that you can get a very fine cut. It's one side. And this is just like anything else. Have you guys ever taken any kind of craft class? You know, like I don't even know if they have them anymore, but they used to have painting classes. That was the big thing is to go to a painting class. Or now they do those classes where you make something on wood. You paint something on wood, like a big sign to put by your front door type of thing. Any of those classes, and you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't like the way this looks. I don't like it at all. But then you step back, you take a minute and you step back and look at it. and you get a different perspective about it. So keep that in mind, okay? Because you are hand cutting these, most of these recipe templates, you're not going to have the perfect edge like you get when you cut something out with your Cricut. It is your hand cut. So just take your time and know that it's not going to be perfect, but it's when you step back and look at it as a whole, it's going to look beautiful. All right. So now what I would do with the tracing that I did, like I said, I didn't do the whole thing this time, but now I would lay this down here and I can start to see how it's going to look. And I'm going to do the same thing. Keep working at the same thing. I'm going to lay this down. The next one I need to cut is right here. So I'm going to lay it down and get it on my paper so that I'm using the most of my paper, and then I would trace it. Just take your time. There we go. I would cut that out, and I don't have this all traced on here yet, but then I would lay it up here and just kind of have this over to the side. So you can just lay your pieces out on it as you get them cut, and you'll start to see the pattern, and you'll start to see it all come into life. They're lots of fun. They take time, but it's worth it in the end. They really come out beautifully, and it's a different way to make your pages. You know, I could let me turn this way. This is I had it the wrong way. And another option, like I said, I'm going to use this green paper to make this whole outside frame. But another option is I could use this paper for this section right here and for this section over here, and then use a different pattern here, 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 and here, and here. And that way you kind of look like you have different lines of paper. That would look great too. Let's look on the front here. We can really look on the front. So here, let's look at their examples. So this one, they did the same color for the inside frame and then the next frame out. And then, well, actually, they did use the same paper for each of the frames they did, because this outside frame here is the same paper. It just happens to be a paper that has all of these shades of color on the paper. And then they had this light background, a light color for their background. So that looks awesome. And then down here in the corner, they did it a totally different way. Oops, let me get it focused there. Ooh, I guess that's as good as I'm going to get. So they did the outside frame. Hold on, I have to take my glasses off to see what they did. Okay, so they just took a 12, no, they probably have 11 by 11 piece of paper, this purple turquoise color, and they just traced it all the way on the outside and then cut that out. So they have one big piece of paper. That's what that purple bluish color is right there. They just use one piece of paper and just cut out the outside frame. So that's another way to do it too. And they give you different ideas down here on this. And then if you go out to the blog from my website, tons of ideas out there for them as well. All right, I'm going to keep chipping away at this, and I will post it as soon as I get it done out on my Facebook page and my Pam's Creative Scrapbooking group. So head on out there to check it out, because I'm not going to be able to get this done tonight while we're together. So I will finish it up and get it out there so you guys can see it. Let me just say hi to Sue Ellen from Kyle, Texas. Yep, you have some stencils and love them. Same. Yes, and there are lots of varieties to use, and it is cool that some of them are compatible with the custom cutting system. It makes it a lot faster for some of them. Like we were talking about the Botanical Burst, this one. And like I said, this one is on last chance. So that means it's close to selling out and won't be coming back. It's retired. I do have some though in my inventory. So if this is one you want and they sell out, just let me know. Send me a message. I have some of those. Yeah, the scissors with a short blade work best. I agree. Where's my regular scissors? So these are my regular scissors, if you will. They're not precision scissors. These come to a sharper point, which gives you a better, you can get into small places easier, is what I'm trying to say. So small little spaces, it makes it easier to maneuver around in those small spaces with the precision scissors. So I like using those for my recipe templates. Yes. Okay. So, and Sue's other suggestion is when you're tracing, you can trace it on the back side of your paper so that you don't have the pencil marks. It can get confusing. And for me, that's hard for me to do so that I know you have to kind of think about where it's going. But she's saying like trace it back here so that your pencil marks aren't showing and put it this way. So that's a great way to do it. Yeah, you just have to put a little bit more thought into it to make sure that you are getting your pieces in the right places. And it's lining the way that you want it to line up. Awesome. Well, thank you, Sue Ellen. I appreciate all of your comments. And thanks, ladies. Please let me know if you have any questions for me about these stencils or really anything else. I'm happy to help. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week and that your weekend is relaxing and you have awesome weather so you can get outside and make some memories. All right, guys, you have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you here next Wednesday with another tips and tricks and layouts and all that good stuff.